An IndyCar champion just insulted NASCAR to its face. And instead of getting defensive, Kyle Larson looked him dead in the eye and said, "You're right, that's not a rivalry, that's a wake-up call." And it's happening the exact same week NASCAR rolls into Indianapolis, the one track where these two worlds collide. Stick around, because this story is bigger than one quote. This is about whether NASCAR's biggest problem is sitting right in front of everyone and nobody wants to fix it. Here's what actually happened. Six-time IndyCar champion Scott Dixon was asked a simple question about race lengths this past weekend at Nashville Superspeedway. His answer wasn't simple. He said Cup Series races are hard to watch. He joked they're basically nap time. The numbers back him up. NASCAR Cup races are averaging 3 hours and 15 minutes this season. That is a long sit for any sports fan, especially compared to the shorter, more explosive format IndyCar runs. Dixon laughed it off as he said it, but the internet did not treat it like a joke. Fans and media on both sides of the fence lit up instantly. Then it landed on Kyle Larson's doorstep. NASCAR is racing this weekend at Indianapolis Motorspeedway, the same iconic ground that hosts both the Brickyard 400 and the Indy 500. Larson is one of the rare drivers who's raced both crowns in the same year. So naturally, he got the question, and he didn't dodge it. To understand why this stings, you have to understand what Indianapolis represents this week. It's the one weekend a year where NASCAR and IndyCar fans are forced to look at each other. Same track, same pavement, two completely different racing philosophies on full display. IndyCar has built its identity around speed, urgency, and shorter runtime. NASCAR has leaned into marathon-length broadcasts built around commercial breaks, stage racing, and long green flag stretches. Dixon's comment wasn't really an attack. It was a mirror, and the timing, right as NASCAR pulls into a shared house with IndyCar, made it impossible to ignore. For NASCAR, this isn't just about one driver's opinion. It's about a growing, uncomfortable conversation the sport has been avoiding for years. Are the races too long for how people actually consume content in 2026? Attention spans have changed. Streaming habits have changed. Younger fans are not sitting through 3-hour broadcasts the way audiences did 20 years ago. This hits at the core of NASCAR's long-term fan growth problem. Here's where this gets genuinely interesting. Kyle Larson didn't have to agree. He could have defended his sport, thrown a jab back at IndyCar, and moved on. That's the easy play. That's the tribal play. Instead, he validated the criticism. And that is a much smarter move than it looks on the surface. Think about who Larson is in this conversation. He's not an outsider taking a shot at NASCAR. He's an insider, one of the most respected drivers in the garage, and someone with credibility in both disciplines because he's actually competed at the highest level of each. When he says the races are too long, it doesn't land like an attack. It lands like an honest diagnosis from someone who has nothing to gain by lying. That's a strategic difference. Dixon's comment could be brushed off as outside noise, an IndyCar guy poking at a rival series. Larson's agreement removes that shield completely. Now here's the risk in what he did. By agreeing publicly, Larson is essentially applying pressure on NASCAR leadership from inside the sport. That's not nothing. Broadcast partners, sponsors, and NASCAR executives now have a top-tier driver on record saying the current format may be working against the product. If more drivers start echoing that sentiment, this stops being a one-off soundbite and starts becoming a narrative NASCAR has to respond to. The other side of this, race length isn't just about entertainment value. It's tied to broadcast contracts, ad inventory, and stage-based racing formats that NASCAR has spent years building. Shortening races isn't as simple as flipping a switch. There's real financial infrastructure built around the current runtime. So is this smart or dangerous for Larson to say out loud? It's smart because it builds trust with fans who already feel this way, but rarely hear a driver admit it. Authenticity is currency right now in every sport, but it's a little dangerous because it puts subtle pressure on NASCAR's decision makers during a season where the sport is already fighting for relevance against other options, competing for the same eyeballs. The reaction split almost instantly along tribal lines, and that tells you everything about how sensitive this topic really is. IndyCar fans took Dixon's comment and ran with it, using it as validation for a long-running argument that NASCAR races are bloated and repetitive. NASCAR loyalists pushed back hard, defending the strategy and stage racing depth that comes with a longer format, arguing that IndyCar fans don't fully appreciate the chess match unfolding over 3 hours. But then Larson's response flipped the entire conversation, because now it wasn't outsiders attacking NASCAR. He was one of NASCAR's own admitting to criticism as merit. That shifted a lot of neutral fans and media members from defensive mode into agreement mode. The emotional contrast here is real. The Hards feel almost betrayed that a top driver agreed with the outside criticism. Casual fans feel validated, like someone finally said the quiet part out loud. So where does this actually go from here? Let's lay out two paths. Best case scenario, NASCAR takes this moment seriously. Leadership reevaluates race formats, trims unnecessary downtime, and starts testing shorter race windows at select tracks. Fan engagement improves, broadcast numbers get a boost from a tighter, higher intensity product, and Larson's comments age like the spark that pushed real change. Worst case scenario, NASCAR ignores it entirely. Nothing changes, the conversation fades into a 2-week news cycle, and this becomes just another example of a legitimate problem the sport chose not to fix. Meanwhile, IndyCar continues positioning itself as the faster, tighter alternative for fans with shrinking patience, slowly pulling casual viewers away from NASCAR broadcasts. Both paths are realistic, and which one plays out says a lot about where NASCAR wants to be 5 years from now. So here's a real question. Is Kyle Larson right that NASCAR races have simply gotten too long for how people watch sports today? Or is this format part of what makes NASCAR unique, and shortening it would strip away the strategy that diehard fans actually love? Drop your take in the comments. Are you Team Dixon, Team Larson, or do you think this whole debate is overblown? If you want more honest breakdowns like this one, no fluff, no fake hype, just real analysis, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA. We're just getting started.